Alliance. It's about 2 miles off on Silver Creek Wash. It was operated from 1865 to 1942. But the gold that actually started the town of Oatman and the boom of Oatman and the Oatman mining district would not be found until 1895, the first time around. In 1895, a man by the name of John Whiteley was following Beale's trail when he realized there was a quartz vein over the side of the mountain. They went to investigate, realized there was gold in that quartz, so they went back to Kingman and stuck a claim on it. Well, they came back out to work his claim, but somewhere along the line, 2 other men realized he'd found something out there. So they followed him out to see what it was he found, or stumbled across it while he was out there working on it. Nobody really knows the exact details. But in any case, when they all 3 got standing over the top of that gold and they realized how much gold was there, these guys figured they were going to take it from Whiteley. Whiteley decided that was not going to happen, so they all ended up in a gunfight over the gold. And before it was all said and done, they were all 3 killed. So the gold was lost for another 4 years. 4 years later, in 1899, a man by the name of Jose Jerez was grove staked by Henry Loving just to get him out of Kingman for a while. Jose had been a colonel in the Mexican military, but by the time he got to Kingman, he was just a heavy drinker and kind of a nuisance. So they grove staked him just to get him out of town. They sent him along Beale's trail and somewhere around the top of Sick Creek Pass, and his telling the story, he fell asleep when his burros wandered off from him in the middle of the night. Most people knew him really well, said he more likely just got drunk, passed out, and forgot to tie his burros down. But in any case, next day, when he went to go find those burros, they were standing right next to the quartz vein that Whiteley put a claim on 4 years earlier. They went back to Kingman, stuck a claim on the very same piece of ground that Whiteley put a claim on. They came out and they worked their claim for about 6 months. They got about 1,000 yards in the ground before they realized they didn't have the manpower nor the money to get it up in operation the way it needed to be done. So they turned around and sold the whole thing to United States Steel. For today's money, about $1.5 million. Now, Henry Loving went on to be a very prosperous businessman and died a very wealthy man. Jose, on the other hand, took all his money, went to San Diego, spent it all on whiskey, women, and having a good time. It lasted him a couple of years. He ran out of money and got swindled out of a bunch of it, so he came back to the Gold Road mine and started working as a roustabout. He worked there for a couple of years till his alcoholism did him in. In his alcoholic delirium, he decided the reason he was losing all of his weight had absolutely nothing to do with drinking too much. He figured because something crawled down his stomach and was eating everything he was eating, so he wasn't getting any nourishment. So he figured he knew how to solve this problem, though. He fixed himself up a rat poison cocktail and drank it down. Yeah, they killed the rat all right, but he also killed himself, and now he's buried 3 miles up the road in the Go Road Cemetery. Now that story was written up in the Kingman, Oatman, and Merrill Park newspapers back in the early 1900s. From 1901 to 1942, Oatman was the most populated place in Mojave County, with an average population of over 10,000 people. And between 1910 and 1918, there were actually estimates there could have been as many as 40,000 people out here in the mountains around us, all looking for gold. This was the place to be. But in 1942, when World War II started, Roosevelt deemed that deemed that gold mining was not necessary for fighting the war, so he asked the miners to go mine other things. They did. When they left, they took a lot of the infrastructure of Oatman out in order to fight World War II. When they left, they took almost all the headstands out of the general area. They took 5 different stamp mills all the way to the ground, and they used it all for fighting World War II. Now, in 1942, the population of Oatman would dwindle down to about 300 people, but those 300 stuck around, believing the gold mining was going to come back when the war was over. Because most geologists, when they left in 1942, believed they had only taken a third of the gold out of these mountains. There's still 2/3 of it still here. And from 1901 to 1942, they took a rough estimate of somewhere around 36 million ounces of gold out of these mountains. So that's only a third of it. There's still a lot of gold out here somewhere underground. And in none of the veins that we know run through these mountains did they ever find anything close to the mother lode, or where the main source of the gold may have been coming from. They found several what in mining terminology is called bonanzas, which are just very large pockets. They found one in 1912 that was worth $15 million, and that was at a price of $20 an ounce. So they found some large pockets, but never found the mother lode, or where the main source of the gold may have been coming from. So who knows how much gold might really be out here somewhere underground. But in any case, in 1942, the population, or in 1951, when they realized the gold mining wasn't coming back anytime soon, they put in a bypass from Kingman to Needles going around the backside of these mountains around us in order to eliminate the windy road. They no longer needed Schaefer Spring, which sits 5 miles up the road just on the other side of Sick Creek Pass, to water horses or radiators any longer. So they figured they no longer needed to come through the mountains, so they put in the bypass, and Oatman died and became a ghost town. It went from a population of 300 to 3 to nothing for the next 30 years. It would pretty much remain 3 to nothing up until about 1978. Now there were 3 times that Oatman started to come back to some kind of life with a minor population. In 1955, Hollywood came up, filmed a movie called Foxfire. In 1957, they came up, filmed another one called Edge of Eternity. And then in 1961, they filmed parts of the movie How the West Was Won. But other than that, it was pretty much a ghost town for the next 30 years. It would not be until 1978 when I-40 ran right over the top of the bypass going around into the mountains that Oatman started to come back to life. More and more people were traveling down 66 again, and if you wanted to stay on 66, you now had to come the original route, what I call the Grapes of Wrath route, through the mountains and through Oatman once again, if you wanted to stay on 66. So more and more people started coming through Oatman. Now, it wouldn't be until 1987 that they would create an organization promoting Route 66, and the small towns that had been bypassed by I-40, that Oatman would start to come back to what you see today as far as a tourist town. Now, the bulk mining would not come back to these mountains until 1994. In 94, they opened up the Gold Road mine about 3 miles up the road. It's been in and out operation ever since, more in than out. About 16 years ago, they reopened the Moss mine, which was the one they found in 1865, and it's been in operation producing gold for the last 16 years. There's a couple other spots out here that they come and go, and they do it, but there are some other mines out here that they worked as well. But it all started because of gold mining. Now, the town of Oatman originally started out in 1901 as the town of Blue Ridge. By 1900, there was a scattering of 5 small post offices through a 5-mile stretch through these mountains. In 1901, they all necked them down into one post office, put that larger post office right on top of the Blue Ridge post office, which sat right where Judy's Bar sits today. Now, they just kept the name Blue Ridge because it was sitting right on top of the old Blue Ridge post office, so this became the town of Blue Ridge from 1901 to 1909. But in 1909, a book got circulated to the town written by a girl named Olive Oatman, and that's a picture of her up there. When that book got circulated to the town, miners read it, thought she's a pretty woman, gone through a really rough ordeal, so they all took a vote and voted to change the name of town from Blue Ridge to Oatman. It's been Oatman, Arizona ever since. Now, the Oatman story was a simple but a harsh one. She was coming across country in 1851 with her family of 9. When somewhere around Gila Bend, they got separated from the wagon train they were running with, and shortly after that, they were massacred by the Yavapai Indians. Out of a family of 9, everyone was killed except for a young son who was left for dead but survived the attack. Marion Oatman and all Van Oatman were taken captive by the Yavapai Indians. They would spend a year with the Yavapais, and then they were traded to the Mojave Indians, where they would spend 4 years with the Mojave Indians. 3 years into that, Mary Ann died of starvation, but it wasn't because the Indians were being cruel or trying to starve her out. It was simply because even the Indians were dying off. There were extreme droughts going on between Colorado and Arizona between 1849 and 1856. So severe that most of those years, the Colorado River running through Arizona was so low most of the time you could step from one side to the other and never get wet. So they were having a hard time growing food, and even the Indians were dying off. Now, all remained with the Indians for another year until a Spanish trader realized there was a white girl with the Indians. He went down to Yuma, grabbed some folks that came up and bartered with the Indians and got her out of captivity. Once she was released, her and her brother got with a co-author, and they co-wrote a book called Captivity of the Oatman Girls. And that was the book that would change the name of the town from Blue Ridge to Oatman in 1909. Now, most of us that know the history of these mountains think the town ought to be called Bentner, because in 1858, the first wagon train to use the newly opened Beale Trail, which ran from Santa Fe, New Mexico to Los Angeles, California, and eventually in 1926 would become this road right here, Route 66, was the Rose Bailey wagon train. With them came a family of 7 called the Bentners. Now, the Bentners, like the Oatmans, got separated from the wagon train they were running with, and shortly after that, they were massacred by the Mojave Indians. And that massacre, the Oatman massacre happened 150 miles south of here. The Bentner massacre happened 2 miles north of here. So we figured out a Bentner, but it's been open ever since 1909 and still is today. And the only other guy killed, and there was another man killed off of that wagon train, and that was Alpha Brown. He was an important man because he was their guide and the only one that knew how to get across the desert. So they all turned around and went right back to Santa Fe and never even crossed the Colorado River. But in any case, the Bentner massacre was the reason for the building of Fort Mojave down on the Colorado River. Fort Mojave was built in 1859. Was shut down in 1861 during the Civil War, reopened in 1865, and then remained open until the 1890s until they no longer needed it. And Fort Mojave Valley had grown up around it. But it was all about gold. So we can get a few people to help us block the road right here with 2 hats to stand, and I need a few people right here in front of this column right here. We don't need everybody. We need 8 or 10 people out here to let traffic know there's something going on so we don't get run over while we're laying on the ground. We found out a long time ago they won't run you over standing up. Nope, that's murder. When we're laying on the ground and hit us, it's an accident. And that's not good. And you're perfectly safe out here. We are not Alec Baldwin. Thank you. Half the time people go, boom. Half the time they go, yay. Anyway, now, unlike Hollywood actors, we carry our guns on us all the time. We are the ones that load them. We know exactly what's in them at all times. And we're Arizonans. We got plenty of guns to go out and shoot in the desert. These never see never see live ammunition. We use them strictly for the show and the show only, so you're perfectly safe out here with us. In fact, what we're using is gunpowder, a little cornmeal on top just to keep the powder in the I'm using gunpowder and cornmeal, and I could shoot him 6 inches away and he'd never even feel it. And what he's using is about the same thing. Only difference is a cartridge gun instead of black powder. Anyway, we are the Red Ridge Marauders. What are you doing, Nikki? We are the Red Ridge Marauders. Now, we started on the name about 8 years ago, just to pick up slack. A lot of those years we were only doing these a couple times a week. A year that we didn't do anything at all. But we started the name Red Ridge Marauders about 8 years ago. Now, we've been doing pretty regular as the last couple of years, but we do the same thing everybody else does. We do them for your entertainment, hope it brings you to town, give you something else to do other than feed the burros, but we also do it for charity. Now, we donate to, in particular, is St. Jude's Research Hospitals. And in the last 8 years, thanks to the Golden Vortex Mining Company, 2 miles out on Silver Creek Wash, they donated $1,000 to St. Jude's through us last year. And with their help, we have now managed to donate $16,000 to St. Jude's Research Hospitals. We've also donated $2,000 to Wounded Warrior, another $2,000 to some local charities, and we also donated $1,000 to a thing called Nazarene Fund, which is a group that's working, or was working, I assume they're still doing it, to get Americans out of Afghanistan. And we also help the bathrooms out as well. Now, the way we do this is we're going to do a gunfight for you. We hope you enjoy it. Then we're going to humbly walk amongst you with our hats in our hands, in a real polite way of saying, please donate to our cause. And we got a real nice way of saying please.
Please. The highway, this is robbery. You got it. Everything right here in the house.
Anything we don't use for powder and primers and things we need for doing the show, we donate to somebody who needs it. Now, as I was saying, Oatman's a gold mining camp out of town, but even a gold mining camp needs a bank, and a bank is over there. Now, anytime you get a bank or an assay office, which is back over here full of gold, you're going to need a sheriff to guard that gold. Now, fortunately for us, though, somebody shot the sheriff last week. Was that you? Did you shoot the sheriff?
Ain't no one, man.
It wasn't me. I shot a deputy. Anyway, anytime you get a bank full of gold and no sheriff to guard it, you're going to have bad guys hanging around. That's us. And it's gunfight time.
Alright, here's that town I talked about. I hung around the camper waiting for the state stuff to go up with gold on it. Found me one the other day. He showed up the town farm right there.
You're going to shoot the fences and you
But I didn't get the money. What do you mean? When he was in town, I was stuck in the outhouse over there. I couldn't get out. I couldn't find no toilet paper. I think somebody in this town hoarding all that stuff. Couldn't find none nowhere. None of the houses around here, none of them got anything. So I had to ruin a new pair of socks to get out. Well, when I got out, he was gone. So were you going to come here today and rob us tonight? Better than nothing. I'm out of money. No lie. Now look, I'm not too sure about this here particular bank, though. Why? Because they shut it down last year for 7 months. 7 months? Yeah, all because of the beer. I don't make sense. That didn't make sense to me either. I thought Corona was pretty good beer. They shut her down, but it's open now. I'll tell you what, last time I went to a bank through the door was down there in No Galley. They started shooting at me the minute I stepped through the door. Here's a tar out of me. Got shot at? Yeah, I didn't realize my poster was at the post office. They knew who I was. When they saw me coming through the door, they just figured they were going to take me out before I even robbed the bank. So, I tell you what, why don't you go in there and rob the bank? Well, I ain't never robbed a bank before. It's not hard. You just walk through the door, pull your gun, tell them I want your money, they'll hand it to you and you walk out. Don't even have to fall off your horse this time. Well, I guess it is good. It is standing still. Don't get it right. I don't know. You got shot at last time. Look. Good. What? We'll flip it. I got a better way to flip it. Yeah, all right. You know that game them kids was playing the other way today? That rock, paper, scissors thing? Oh, yeah, that one. We're going to play that. The one who loses goes in and robs the bank. All right, sounds fair to me, but I tell you, I'm really good at this. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. You go. You ready? Go. Yeah, I'm ready. 1, 2, go rob the bank. You got rock, scissors, lost. We're so yeah, I'm robbing the bank. Wait a minute, must be this back here. I'm robbing the bank. All the money. Give me your gold! Hand it over! Hey, what? What are you going to do with that thing? Oh, well, it says all the money right on it. Yeah, but unless you got one of those funny little cards, they won't. You gotta have an account in that bank to get money out of that. Unless you got to No. Well, then go inside and rock like everybody else does.
All right, I'll go inside. Are you sure our poster's not here?
Yeah, positive.
All right.
Anyway, I'm gonna go over here and check the ass office while he's in there. There might be something over here, you never know. Hey, old man, how you doing back here? Yeah. Them bar and saddlebags you got hanging on the wall over there. Don't take your saddlebags. Don't forget up to 7 feet. Look, get away from that shotgun. You're gonna get yourself hurt. Look, get away.
Don't tell my mama.
Really?
Look at there, he found the saddlebags.
Yeah, we gotta get out of town though, because I had to shoot that old man over there.
What you shooting for?
Well, because I went for the saddlebags, he went for a shotgun, so I had to shoot him. He might have hit me.
Over saddlebags?
I thought that was kind of funny.
That don't make no sense.
Donkey.
Oh yeah, it does.
Why?
He's a donkey.
He's the one been hoarding all the toilet paper.
Donkey.
He ought to have been shot.
He's got 4 rolls in here.
Can't believe
He's
it.
a donkey.
Yeah, come on, let's get out there.
He's a donkey.
Get on that. Don't mind.
Hey, where you going? Horses are down here.
Oh, yeah, you know, I know that, and I was just, I was going around. I'll meet you down there.
Around?
Yeah, I'll meet you down.
Around where?
Well,
There's no
I'll find a
round
way.
out here.
I'll find a way. I'll meet you down there eventually.
Well, you got an idea there. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Here, give me one of them bags of gold. That way you get caught and we don't lose it all.
I'll hold on to them. I'll take good care of them, too.
All right. You just as squirrely as your old man.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, look, I know he's the one who stole my wife and my horse. I really want my horse back.
Well, I can't do that.
Well, you can't do that.
Yeah, you see, we had an awfully cold winter. Run out of food. Got the horse and ate it.
You ate my horse?
Well, yeah.
That was the fastest horse in the county.
You know, I wish you done told me that sooner.
Why that?
It ran through me in a hurry. I can still feel that horse.
That wasn't my horse. That's her cooking again.
Cooking.
Oh, yeah, she like to point me 2 or 3 times. Now, look, you're going to give me that bag of gold because you killed my horse.
Well, I reckon I'll keep these bags of gold, see if that cook might kill me.
All right. Guess we want to do this hard way then.
All right, we can do it that way. Wait a minute.
What?
Well, there's all these people hanging around waiting for somebody to get killed. I figure they can help.
Hell.
Yeah.
All right, they're going to help.
All right. Now, wait on some help. When we both stay ready, y'all all draw. Everybody have
Come on. Come on.
What are you doing?
You said they were going to help. She off.
Well, that ain't what I meant. Get out here. I didn't shoot too many people like that. All right, are you ready?
Of course I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Go. What are you doing?
I'm dodging your bullet.
Look. How come you ain't dead? I don't miss that far away.
Well, you ought to be dead. I don't miss me. What's wrong with this thing?
Hey, last time I seen you in the stores, you buy more than Walmart butter.
Yeah, what it was.
What's the problem is? Look, you gonna give me the gold now?
I reckon I'll hold on to them bags of gold.
I guess we'll have to do this again then.
Get a little bit closer.
You do it.
I don't think we're close enough.
I told you.
That ain't right, man.
I thought that's a pretty good way of finding out.
Yeah, you thought that was funny?
Sorry, it was funny.
Hey, well, look behind you.
Bye, what's that?
That's not even happen.
I'll show you funny.
All right.
I gotta cut away way of doing it.
Well, how's that?
You got to count to 3.
Three?
Yeah, 3.
Hold on a minute. That next one right here. That's 3. Alright, that extra one back there says that's 3. I can keep that card.
Alright. You count to 3 on 3, I'm going to shoot you.
Alright, here we go. Uno. Dos.
What is that?
What do you mean?
Uno dos. Never heard that before. What is that?
Oh, wait, you know I'm going down to Mexico. That's how they talk down there.
I only been down there one time. The only thing I remember how to say is Mas cerveza, por favor. More beer, please. You speak English, so I understand what we're saying.
Alright, here's English. Here we go. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
Wait a minute.
What now?
We ain't Mississippi. We's in Arizona.
Got a point. Hey, you're so cantankerous. You do the counting then.
I count with 3rd grade 7 times.
We got to stall it.
You ready?
Of course I'm ready.
1 Arizona.
I like it.
2 Arizona.
Yeah.
7 Arizona. Hey, now,
What are you doing?
look, I can't do it that no way. It's been so long since I've been in school, I don't remember none of that stuff. I got a different way of doing it.
Well, how's that?
Yep. You see these here coins?
I see him.
I'm going to throw one up there.
That's holding.
All right.
And I'm going to hit it. When I hit it, look, put a hole right there too.
Are you sure did, boy? What's that crap?
Look, put that hole right there too. Now, I'm going to give you the same shot. If you can hit that coin before it hits the ground, I'll let you have the gold. But if you miss, I get the gold.
Well, all right.
Alright, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here you go.
Oops, I missed. Well, it's my little lucky bang gold. Yeah,